Yes, thank you. Welcome back to another Soccer Ballers episode. I think it's the fourth one now that we've done. If you've forgotten, my name's Will Forrest, WF. No one ever calls me that though, but you can if you like. That subscribe button should have popped up in the bottom corner by now. Feel free to give it a tap. You don't have to, but it'd be very nice if you did. It might make people think I've got a couple of friends. With me today, I've got a couple of guests. I've got Ad Bazza Barrett and I've got Billy Loff. It's Loff, isn't it?
Thanks for the nice introduction, as per usual.
So, to be fair,
You're more than welcome, mate.
to be fair, I'm feeling very much at home recording this podcast. So thank you for having me here.
Well, it beats doing it at work on my lunch. So this one is about the Premier League, looking at how the table's going to finish, top to bottom. Now that we've had it, I think it's about 17 or 18 games in the Premier League now, isn't it? We're pretty much halfway through, apart from Liverpool, because they decided to go off to Doha for a game, and they've got to play West Ham at some point. Yeah. I don't know about you though, Bill. I'm not a Blue Nose, I'm a Villa fan, but when we were in the Championship, I didn't really look at the Premier League.
I know the one now, to be honest.
Well, neither do I. I'm a Villa fan.
No, I'll be honest, I follow the top teams. Check out the top teams on TV. And...
Yeah, I think like looking at it this season, I thought, yeah, we'll beat that team, and then someone went, they finished fifth last year, and it's like, really?
How's that working out for you?
It worked.
It's working. Not very well, but it's definitely working.
Every now and again, I'm right, you know what I mean?
There we go.
Okie dokie. So, Baz has very intelligently suggested that we split it up into different groups. So we'll go for our top two. Lads, I'll let one of you two go first. Who's your top two?
Well, I think we're all going to say the same thing here.
QPR.
Maybe not. QPR and Leicester. No,
I got Crew.
Crew.
For mine. They're a good team. Talk about Gresty Road.
You're in the league from 1974 there, what are you doing?
Man, that's a good year.
Mate, I got the Villa to win it.
Used to be
I'm honest with you.
I say 1974, you buy a pint up for 5p.
That's true.
That's where you want to go.
What a great age it was, eh?
So you reckon we got the same two?
I reckon.
Who's that then?
Liverpool top and Man City in second.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, I've got them two as well. I think, I'll be honest with you, like doing the points, and I wrote down the points, because we've used an app where you can put win, draw or lose in the matches, or you put which team's going to win or you put which team's going to draw. So it does have the points for you. Whilst Liverpool are there romping away at the moment, I do think that when they come back, they're going to have a bit of a stutter. I think that they might draw a couple of games, they might lose a couple of games even. And one of the defeats I had for them was at Molineux.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a tricky place to go, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I just think they're the team on form at the moment. They have been all season. I can't see them, unless they've got an injury to that front three, I can't see them letting up.
They're that Man United, aren't they? You know, they're going to score at the end. They're going to somehow get a result, like they did at Villa Park.
Yeah, they've done that a few times this season.
Yeah.
There was, I suppose, sign of champions, isn't it? You don't play very well, but you end up winning games. Though, have either of you got them breaking 100 points?
No.
I have.
So I got them breaking 100 points.
I've got them 105 actually.
Have you?
Yeah.
What have you got, Bas?
I had him 106,
See,
which is bad because it basically, I feel a bit like Loro. It's like on his predictions. I don't think he's had him losing a game since like 2008. So I do feel bad, but
98 for me, but that's because I put them to lose at least 3 or 4 times in the end. I think this period now coming back with the Champions League as well, with the FA Cup, because they're going to want to win that after all the atrocity with the Carabao and whatnot. I think they'll lose a few games. They'll slip up. They'll lose to a Tottenham somewhere. I think they'll lose to Man City when they play Man City. I wouldn't be surprised to see them lose to Leicester as well.
The Man City game is the only game I've got them to lose this season.
Is he?
Yeah.
I've got the same as last year.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So I don't know if they will get to 106. I think that's a bit of an exaggeration probably on my part based on what it is. But I do think they'll win the league comfortably.
Yeah.
As in, I don't think this is going like last game of the season, you know, both teams on Sky simultaneously, one needing
I've got them
to get the result.
I've got them 12 points clear. It's quite comfortable.
I got them 10.
Yeah,
but I think either way, I think it's going to be comfortable.
I've got a soft spot for City anyway, all because of Liam Gallagher. I'll be honest, because of Oasis and whatnot. 95, I've got City on, so that's only 3 points behind. I think I know I should have done this based upon teams now and not who they're signing and whatnot, but I thought that, if they get a centre-back in and they can move Fernandinho back up into midfield and Aguero starts playing up front. I don't know whether he's injured at the moment.
He was on the bench yesterday, wasn't
he? Oh, was he?
I think he's making his way back to fitness.
You get him back fully fit and you've got Sterling and Bernardo at their best with a proper centre-back in. City will start to do well and they'll be the form team come the end of the season.
I think Man City's midfield is the problem. I think Silva's. I don't know. Silva's not having a great season. I don't know if it's his age and he's just hit that point in his career.
Do you need to when you've got Kevin De Bruyne playing the way he does?
I don't think he hasn't been as good as he was last season.
De Bruyne is absolutely dominating. In terms of assists, he's like
best midfielder in the world, isn't he?
I think City. I think it is defence. I mean, Company went. Laporte got injured.
That's the problem.
And then they got no one to cover. No. They brought a full-back for 60 million and don't play him.
That Cancelo?
Yeah, I don't know what a point of that is.
I mean, you look at that and you think Southgate in the summer, the summer before, put Walker at centre-back. Why haven't they gambled on having Walker alongside somebody at centre-back, like Otamendi, where Walker can use his pace in the Premier League, and then Cancelo, and then left back's a problem for him.
I think they rely on him a lot on the wing, don't they?
Yeah, I think the thing with
getting forward more than anything.
I think the thing with England
and in goal.
That as well.
Well, yeah, it's actually done. I think the thing with England playing Walker at centre back is part of a back three. So in effect, he was able to play almost a sweeper role with his pace. Yeah. Him as a back two, as another centre back. Yeah. That's as demonstrated by who City have been playing centre back this season. Like Fernandinho's dropped back. Rodri's drop back a bit. That's okay against teams who are going to give you the ball because they're ball playing midfielders get forward. Teams are going to attack you. That doesn't particularly work. And Walker centre back with some him and Otamendi against somebody good. Who they got in the Champions League? They got Madrid. They drawn them in Champions League.
They have. Looking at Leicester.
Luckily, Madrid aren't great this season.
I was going to say, to be fair, if Ronaldo was playing up front.
That would be different. That would be a different story.
They got away with it.
Look at how Vardy murdered them yesterday on that counter. Leicester, they didn't play their normal selves. They were trying to get that through ball up to Vardy as quickly as possible, and he was getting away from Fernandinho and Otamendi. Yeah. They just didn't have the legs. That's why I thought someone like Walker, who can potentially keep up with him, might be a bit better. But there we go.
Look at the teams that have beat City this year, or had a go at City anyway. They've gone at them. They've gone at them every time.
Yeah.
Man United went at them I know it was only half an hour, but they went at them. Yeah. Norwich went at them for a bit. Even going back to last season, Tottenham went at them in the Champions League. They can't. Yeah. If someone has a go, they can't attack and defend. They played that higher line. When someone gets forward, they can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I bet you. Okay, so those two are the same. Are our next 2, 3 and 4 making up the Champions League? Are they going to be the same as well?
Yeah. So, I've got Leicester third.
Yeah.
And I got Chelsea fourth.
I've gone the other way round. I've got Chelsea third and Leicester fourth.
See, I've got Leicester, but then I've got Jose Mourinho's Tottenham in fourth.
Have you?
I think, apart from today's result, obviously, has happened, and we saw Gazaniga come out doing a Drew McIntyre Claymore on one of their strikers, and even the defenders going, mate.
Yeah, it looks like a pen, but let's pretend it's not for 2 minutes.
I think they're just too strong as a team. I think they'll be more consistent because of having Mourinho as that manager, someone who's done it many times before in the Premier League, instead of Lampard, Arteta, other ones who are up there at the moment. I just think that they're going to have a bit more, and that's why they'll get that fourth spot. I think Leicester are probably a bit too far in front of them at the moment. And Brendan Rodgers, before, when he was at Liverpool, did very well. Obviously, when they came second, I think he'll keep Leicester ticking along. They'll have a little bit of a blip, but Tottenham have got the stability of Mourinho over other managers. Yeah. That's just my opinion. Yeah.
I think there's a problem there because if you look at the team last year, as player-wise, it's not changed really, has it?
No.
The team, if you watch the way they played last year, they fell away at the end, and they started the season sort of the same way. And I know Mourinho coming. I know he's a big manager. He's managed big players. I think he needs money at that club to get them anyway. I don't think that club's going to change until money goes into that club.
I think they'll give it him because it's him now. I don't think he'd have gone there if they weren't going to give it him. You look at the stadium, you look at all the revenue that they're probably bringing in as well. He'll get that opportunity to get the money, and he'll bring in some of his players. Now, he might bring in the manager Matic, and they're not going to win the league with him. But if he can bring in other players and he can promote some of the good youth players that they've got as well.
Yeah. He's not exactly renowned for promoting youth.
No.
Though, is he, Mourinho?
No, he isn't.
It's interesting in terms of this this app we use to kind of do the result by result, week by week. My gap between 4th and 5th is absolutely nowhere near in mine. I mean, it's like, and I haven't got Spurs top 4. And it's interesting in terms of where we are in this first half of the season. Obviously, they didn't have a very good start, Spurs. They bring Mourinho in. They had some decent results, but as of time recording, they played 2 decent-ish teams. Man United, Chelsea. They've lost to both without scoring a goal.
Yeah.
And I think there is, with this Spurs team, they need a lot of rebuilding. And you mentioned there about, are they going to get the money in January? You kind of think, logically, it's like Mourinho needs loads of money. Why would you go to a club that doesn't give any money?
Unless
you wouldn't go. But then you kind of think Daniel Levy, he's not exactly renowned for opening the purse strings, kind of as it were.
Never has been, has it?
Yeah, maybe he was told money, and it's like Levy's example of money was he paid for like the team Christmas do. And it's like that.
That's better than Golden Sullivan did when Blues won the playoffs. Steve Bruce had to pay the bartender.
Man, you got to Joe.
Like Lampard last year with for Derby, didn't he? You're saying about those points, like where you touched upon there. I've got Leicester in third on 91 points, so that's only 4 behind City, and it's 7 behind Liverpool. And I've had them having a little bit of a blip. They'll lose to Man City, they'll lose to those sort of teams. But I did put them to beat Liverpool at, it's not Filbert Street, whatever it's called now, the Bowl. And then you've got Spurs, 79 points, 12 points behind Leicester. But Spurs are that sort of team. I like Spurs. I do like Spurs as a team. They're the sort of one who you think, with the right manager, with the right people in, they could really challenge. They could win cups.
They're an attacking.
But they're still likely to lose 4-0 at home to West Ham every now and again.
Yeah. I mean, I've got Spurs absolutely nowhere near that. In terms of points.
In 8th, I'm going to be honest.
Bad spoiler alert.
Sorry. Going too far ahead here. Sorry.
I mean, I've got Leicester in early 80s in terms of points. I think this Leicester team is better than the team that won the league with Leicester.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah,
definitely.
100%. And they just took advantage of a year whereby
it was bad for everybody else.
The other team just kind of imploded.
Why did that win the league? At 82 or something?
It was
really low.
Maybe it was somewhere in the 80s. Okay. I think they wouldn't have won the league in the last few years, where like City and Liverpool were kind of
definitely not
going head to head.
That sort of woke them up, really.
Yeah.
But everyone else just made sure they're like, this isn't happening again. We're just going to spend a shitload of money. But this is a great Leicester team to watch. To be fair,
it's when they beat Man City 3-1 that couple of years ago. And I remember putting it on and thinking, this is the day that Manchester City win the league. Yeah. And then Mahrez goes and pops 2, and it's like, this might not be the day that Manchester City win the league.
It's probably why Man City born. This ain't happening again, is
it?
Let's play everyone.
The thing with Leicester as well, with Rodgers, he will adapt to whoever the opposition are. Like he played us the other week, didn't he? And he went for a diamond instead. So he put Maddison at the top of the diamond and got him floating around. Whereas when he's playing other teams, he's going for that 4-2-3-1. Yeah. And you'll put Maddison on the left where he thinks he'll hurt teams. You'll put him on the right. I mean, one of their best performances, and yes, 89 minutes of it was probably against 10 men. Southampton away. They absolutely ripped Southampton to bits.
That was
one-off. I mean,
special game to watch, but one-off.
I mean, record-breaking performance. But what I'd say about Leicester so far this season, I mean, it may have changed by the time this goes out because of the Boxing Day fixtures. They haven't beat anybody really good in the league this season. I mean, they lost to City, they lost to Man United, drew to Chelsea, and they should have beat Chelsea. Yeah. They lost to Liverpool first time round at Anfield. The reverse leg is still to come. So in terms of, and it seems hypercritical in terms of, oh, you're not beating this team, so you're not going to win the league. Therefore, you're shit. Therefore, you're not very good.
You've got to beat them, haven't you?
So I think it's a difference.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, in terms of last year, where they had roughly the same playing squad under Puyol, they were like mid-table. So it does demonstrate the great improvement.
He's a good manager.
He's certainly.
I think he was unlucky at Liverpool.
I think he's certainly grown up a bit since he's kind of gone away, and the Liverpool thing. I mean,
I blame Steven Gerrard.
Man,
Even though it wasn't his fault, I still blame him.
Mate, talk about a slip of the tongue. But
slipped up there, didn't you?
I think the thing was, Rodgers at the end of his time at Liverpool. I mean, I think the thing is, he should have gone earlier. I mean, didn't they lose like 6-0 to Stoke, like at the last day of the season? Like Rodgers, and they didn't sack Rodgers then. He kind of went on to the next season, and they sacked him like in September, October. They lost to Man United, I think, and then that was the end. Yeah. I mean, they were that bad in that previous season. I mean, Villa beat them.
That must have been a really bad time.
Man, it was one of my top 5 Villa games, so I'll allow it.
Didn't they start the next season away at Stoke? And that's the only time that's ever happened in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think they've won.
Fixtures been.
Through the random computer generator.
Yeah. Okay, all right then. So we're a bit only slightly different there. I mean, we've got Liverpool, City, and Leicester. We've all got, and then you two have gone for Chelsea. I've gone for Spurs. After today's performance, completely understand. The next 4 to make up that top 8. So, what's Europe now? Is it 5th and 6th is Europe, and 7th sometimes?
It's likely that one of the top 4 is going to win the FA Cup.
Yeah, and then whoever wins the Carabao Cup. So that's either going to be City, Man United, or Leicester, isn't it?
Or it could be Birmingham City. You never know. Even though we're out in round 1.
Well, bring Craig Gardner back in. Special flip.
Yeah. So the next 4. Who's your next 4?
I mean, this is the joy of doing it kind of like on a fixture by fixture basis rather than thinking about it laterally. Because I've got slightly different in terms of doing the fixture than I would have done if I'd have thought it bad laterally. But in terms of the points that came out when I was using the app, I've got Wolves 5th, Spurs 6th, United 7th, and I've got Sheffield United 8th.
Yeah, I've got a couple similar. I've got Wolves 5th on 71. I've got Arsenal 6th on 63, because I think Arteta will start slow, but I think he'll find his feet. I've got Chelsea 7th on 59, because they're a beatable team at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, well, most teams in the league.
Sheffield United 53 and 8th.
I've got Wolves in 5th, which I would never have said that. If I hadn't done the random fixture, I would never have said that.
No, I wouldn't have done.
I've got Wolves in 5th. I've got Arsenal in 6th. So I think exactly what you just said. I think it's going to take in time. I don't think you can just turn that round.
Yeah.
They've got a massive gaping hole in their defence.
Wow, yeah.
And Man United is 7th.
Okay.
So we're doing 8th or?
Yes.
So 8th, I've got Tottenham in 8th.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, you look at, for Wolves, to think that we've got them in 5th, at the start of the season, when you look back at other teams like Ipswich, who finished 4th that one season, and then the next season they were absolutely rubbish.
They had 5th.
Oh, did they? Well, they dropped like a stone, didn't they?
They got relegated next season.
Yeah, and then you had Burnley, who got into Europe and then really struggled for most of last season before finishing somewhere around the middle of the table.
Because they're not very good.
You wouldn't have thought that Wolves, with all the extra games that they're playing, would finish quite as high up.
No. And they didn't start the season massively well, did they? They drew a lot of games. They weren't really winning.
Weren't they bottom after the first 3 or in the bottom 3 anyway?
They were down there.
And then they beat us, the Villa, and they went flying.
It wasn't hard, was it?
No.
November. Beat us in November, didn't they? Yeah,
I mean, they've got the players in their team and the system under Nuno, where they're that sort of dark horse where you think if they go to any of the top teams, they could probably go and get a result, like they did against Man City.
Yeah.
They're a great team. To
be fair. Well, they've spent a lot of money on that team as well. Let's not.
They have.
Find out they've just got a load of kids from the youth team. They've spent a lot of money on that team.
I think, and also having the agent kind of
having
links up.
Good move.
In terms of probably value for money, I mean, one of their best signings, if not the best, they brought Coutinho like for 5 million.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
Rui Patricio for nothing.
I mean, we brought Matt Taggart for 18 million. So let's get Coutinho for 5.
The owner was drunk at the time.
Moving on. I got Arsenal 6 then, as I say. I think Arteta will become a very good manager, very good football player as he was as well.
He's learned a lot of Pep in the past.
Yeah,
couple of years. If you can It's that thing again, isn't it? Can the assistant go from being the assistant to the manager?
Is he going to be a new Brian Kidd?
Yeah, a lot of times. Yeah, a lot of times it doesn't work out.
Or will he be a Mourinho? Started off as a translator and then became covered.
I should probably clarify for our younger listeners. Brian Kidd used to play football before football existed. So he was part of the Man United team that won the European Cup in 1968. I mean, you can't even comprehend that was a year, but it was.
See,
then
this isn't just a podcast. It's
informative. You know, we take it through. And then he was assistant to Alex Ferguson, basically. And then he became a manager at Blackburn. I think they got relegated. I think under him.
They did indeed.
And then he went back to being an assistant.
I thought you were going to do McLaren, to be honest with you, before. And if you type in Wally with Brolly, you'll see who he was. But he went on to become the England manager.
That's true. I mean, Wally was definitely not hiding that evening.
But yeah, Arsenal, they've got a lot to sort out with that defence. Bellerin, great fullback. Tierney could potentially be a good fullback as well. But they've got a very soft centre. It's like a chocolate eclair.
Yeah, I think the bit of Arsenal is, I mean, you're both of the opinion that Arteta's going to turn it round. I think it's a combination.
It's a long time, but
this Arsenal team is not very good in the grand scheme of things. In terms of, I'm comparing it in terms of Arsenal. They used to be challenging for the league like years and years ago.
Compared to those,
even a few years ago, they're challenging for the top four. You know, kind of Arsenal fourth was kind of a running joke. This team is nowhere near it in terms of, I mean, they've kind of, the thing about...
Take away Aubameyang's goals.
Yeah. I mean...
Then they've literally... Hasn't he scored about half of their goals?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be surprised if there's more. But in terms of they're saying, Arteta's coming in because he knows Arsenal. I used to play for Arsenal. You know, he's got the Arsenal DNA. I think I've heard the phrase.
Yes.
Lundberg had the Arsenal DNA. And it didn't quite work out for him when he was... And I think the thing with Arsenal, they haven't got a clue off the field, and it's so important to have like that coherent strategy off the field. Arsenal don't have it. I mean, you compare it to Man United, you know, like since Ferguson gone, they haven't had a clue off the field, and it's kind of that lack of clarity off the field has influenced it on the field in terms of managerial hires, in terms of buys, in terms of that. I think Arsenal, they're years away from really coming out of it. I don't think
they're years away, but so are Liverpool. They've turned it round in quite a
I think
quite a fast turnaround. Fast turnaround. Liverpool.
They did, but they had the thing off the field. They had new owners. They knew what they had a system.
They had a direction.
Arsenal haven't. They've got the same owners in for years.
Yeah, they're just more interested in turning.
The chairman doesn't care particularly in the grand scheme of things.
If Arsenal spend any of the money that they've got, and as you've said with the chairman, all they have to do, and all any of these top teams have to do, is go and pick some of the best players from Leicester. Yes, Vardy's been loyal. But will will Maddison be loyal if Man United came knocking? He's a Man United fan. Will the likes of Wolves players all be loyal to them? If Arsenal...
They would for Arsenal. I think that's how far Arsenal have fallen. You'd be like, I'd rather stay at Wolves or Leicester.
I don't mean going to Arsenal particularly. I mean, for example, say Atletico Madrid came and made a big money bid for Tielemans, and you had Adama could go back to Barcelona. You start losing those key players. Then Arsenal with Lacazette, because he's just as valuable really as Aubameyang, and will get goals. You're looking at 25 goals each for them a season. You'd reckon.
I think that demonstrates
how back up.
Yeah, I think that demonstrates how far Arsenal have fallen. That you're having the expectation of them getting better. If all the other players from the other teams leave, it's like you're dragging them down to their level rather than Arsenal kind of improving. I think it's going to be a bumpy introduction for Arteta. I don't think he's going to turn it around this season, particularly.
It depends what they spend in the window.
So where did
you have Arsenal finishing again, Bill? And where did you have them finishing both?
I didn't have a top 8. I haven't got a top 8. No.
So what about you, Bill?
I had Arsenal finishing in 6th.
Okay, same as me then. And then I had Chelsea 7th, but Chelsea in both of your top 8s.
I had Chelsea 3rd in mine.
Oh, you had 4th and 3rd.
I think Lampard's doing a great job.
I think Lampard's doing a great job. The one thing I like about Lampard with this is that obviously he didn't have the money, but he did still have well-known players, and he had the expensive foreign players and whatnot. But he turned around and he went, Mason Mount, I know what you're like. I trust you. Tomori, I know what you're like. I trust you. I will play you in the Premier League. And both of those players have played well in the Premier League. They gambled on them,
That's not so much a gamble, Abraham, but
I think it was for a team in that top half because
he was rubbish at Swansea. He was only at the Villa that he really...
He did a great job for you last year.
I mean, before this season, if you would have said he's Abraham a Premier League striker, I would have gone, top half, no. Bottom half, definitely kind of mid-table, maybe 10 goals a season, kind of that level. He's already hit that probably at Chelsea already.
I'd have said no. I mean, it took him 3 or 4 games to start scoring, didn't it, as well?
I was doubtful because...
I thought Batshuayi would have been the main man.
Yeah. Was it last January he had the chance to go to Wolves?
Yeah.
Did they want to buy him or take him on loan? I can't remember.
Him.
They wanted to buy him. Looking back, he's done the right thing.
Yeah.
How hindsight and all that. But,
Chelsea fans can thank Jack Grealish for that, can't they?
Oh, I suppose they can.
Yeah.
And they spawned a whole bit of team.
Everyone loved the Villa, don't they?
I know I do. That's what I say. But Chelsea, it's...
I think they've got ups and downs in them. I think they've got more ups and downs 100%. In them than Arsenal, Wolves, Spurs, Leicester, City, and Liverpool, in my opinion.
I think this is a great year to have ups and downs in the Premier League because you've got all your other teams kind of around you and doing similar things.
Outside the top 3 or 4, I don't think the rest of the division is that good this year. I think it's so inconsistent.
I don't think it's been very good for many years.
I don't think outside the top 2.
Top 2.
Well, maybe Leicester. Maybe Leicester.
Top 2,
put them in there, but...
So in 8th place, and I remember someone else had said about having them in the top 8, Sheffield United.
Yeah, I don't, mate.
What a great job Chris Wilder has done. I mean, Bramall Lane is a fortress. He's playing those 3 in the back and those 3 centre-backs from... I don't watch Sheffield United, obviously. I watch the bits on Match of the Day. But they can just bomb forward and they can get forward and create, and so can the fullbacks. They've got strikers who you think, really, are they going to score Premier League goals? You'd have thought Billy Sharp would have been their main man. And he's not.
I mean, he's been around the block, hasn't he, Billy Sharp?
I mean, they don't. I think the thing with Sheffield United, they don't really have somebody who's scoring all their goals, particularly.
No.
And they're just kind of spreading it out around the team. And I think in the first half of the season in particular, they're having a great advantage by people kind of thinking that this Sheffield United team is managed by Neil Warnock.
Yeah.
So they're thinking, all Sheffield United do is like got 4-4-2, solid.
Forward.
Yeah. And that's the exact opposite to the way the Sheffield United team play. And it's kind of lazy stereotypes in the media as well. They're going, there's kind of up and at them, like Danny Mills came out and said, they're agricultural kind of stuff like that.
Danny Mills.
Yeah, exactly. They don't play like that, and so you're listening to all this as another team, and you're thinking, you know what you get from the Sheffield United team. It's the exact opposite. They play in a different tactical style to what the Premier League is used to. They're kind of, you look at it in terms of individual players, like in terms of Football Manager pure stats. Most of this team's rubbish. But in terms of Premier League standard, but as a team and a tactical system, it works absolutely perfectly.
They ran Liverpool close. They should have got some out of that game.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Liverpool were lucky.
They were extremely lucky. If they can push them out, Liverpool.
I mean, the thing with Sheffield United is next season will be the key for them because they'll likely drop like a stone and finish bottom
second
6.
Season syndrome, Huddersfield.
I think the thing is, in terms of, I think it's Americans in NFL. They call it. They've been able to study the tape. I think that'll be it. Exactly. Second season, people will know exactly what they're about.
Let me ask you this about your top 8. Question I've put down on my notepad. Honestly, are they the best 8 teams in the league?
In terms of individual, on paper, quality, in terms of individual quality?
I think looking at it as you put out their best 11, in your opinion, for every single team, you have them all out in front of you, or you put them on the wall like Mikel Arteta did, apparently, then are they the best 8 teams in the Premier League? Have they got the best 8 starting 11s?
Bar one team, I'd say yes.
I think for mine, there's potentially 2 outside mine that could be in the top 8.
I'd say there's probably 2 that could be there, and one of them...
If it's Villa, it doesn't count.
I'd say I've got one. I've got 2 teams. I've got 2 teams, and one of them, when you write down their best 11 on paper, you go, "Oh yeah, actually, I never thought of them because they're having a bad season." Yeah, Cardiff.
That's it. Exactly.
I'm saying, to be fair, I've got Villa in my top 8, just in the Championship.
No, Everton and Man United would make it
team,
in.
I think. Yeah.
And I think, looking at it,
Everton have got a good team on paper, I think.
Sheffield United would drop out, and then between Leicester and Wolves as to which other one dropped down. So, okay, no, that's fair enough. I mean, I think we agree they're not the best 8 teams on paper with 11, but
pretty
for
close.
the way that they're playing, they deserve to be where they are.
Yeah, it's just take advantage of the opportunities when they arise.
So then we've got 9th down to 13th, so it's the next 5 teams. Who are you going for?
Well, I've got Sheffield United in 9th.
Yeah.
I think they're going to fall away towards the end because they'll hit that 40 points. That's what happened to Blues. They hit 40 points. You get comfortable and you start easing off the
You have
gas.
got 40 points.
We got 40 points that once. It was 1954 on a cold winter's day.
Right.
No, sorry.
Was
No,
that when
we
the
got
Kai-
it once.
was that when the Kaiser stole our dignity?
Many years ago, yes. So I've got Sheffield United in 9th.
Yeah.
I've got Everton in 10th.
Yeah.
Burnley in 11th.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure why I pressed some of these buttons here. Bournemouth.
Who's at Preston?
they had a brilliant second half.
Yeah, they were that good. They got promoted and pushed up and everything. I've got Bournemouth in 12th.
Yeah.
And 13th, I've got Southampton.
Okay.
I don't think Southampton are as bad as it makes out at the moment.
They got a good. Well, talking about good side 11, they got a decent side.
Yeah, I think they have.
Wow, yeah, they have, yeah.
I mean,
Nathan Redmond at Blues, he started it all.
Højbjerg, ex-Bayern Munich, quality little player,
Yeah.
championship manager dream player, you know, Redmond, Ings, yeah.
Ings.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
scores goals.
Yeah.
He does score goals, to be fair.
That's what you want from a centre forward.
It is exactly.
Football 101.
That's all you can ask, isn't it?
So who's your next 5?
I mean, I've got Arsenal 9th.
Yeah.
I've got them a point behind my team who came 8th. So,
Okay.
you know, them Sheffield United, I suppose you can switch. And then I've got Palace 10th and Everton 11th, but they both had the same points in mind. So, you know, you can switch them either way. I've got Newcastle 12th and I've got Burnley 13th.
Well, my ones, my 8th place, Sheffield United had 53 points. They were 10 points off 6. 9th place, 4 points behind Sheffield United, I've got Burnley. I think they're just the sort of team who will grind out draws and get some wins away from home. 10th place are Everton with 48. 11th place, and I'm sorry to anybody who lives in London, but I've got Man United with 47. I've got
London.
Brighton.
That's good, though. I never expected that for some reason.
Brighton with 45 in 12th, and then in 13th place, and only 5 points off the bottom 3. I don't know how, but I've got Bruce's Newcastle. Looking at Bruce's Newcastle, when they came and played the Villa, they made us look like Barcelona.
Really?
You know, they were, it was like playing a pub team.
Yeah.
That Saint Maxim did a lovely little Maradona turn straight into a ball boy, if I remember rightly, in the second half, straight off the pitch. They had nothing.
I mean, it shouldn't work. I mean, to be fair, I mean, I got a Newcastle points tally in 12 for 43, and that means they've got most of their points already before we start recording. but that's enough to kind of get them mid-table, which kind of sums up where the league is, I'd say.
The thing for them, though, isn't it? St James's Park is Jekyll and Hyde. It can be the best place in the world for them to play when they're on top and they've got the fans behind them. But as soon as they go 1-0 down to Crewe Alexandra, then you know they're on a hide into nothing.
I think that ground's always been like that, hasn't it? It's not in the mid-90s, that was a different story.
Yeah.
Because they thought they were going to win that league that year.
I say, for a team who never...
I love it.
They should have won the league that year, looking back.
I mean, for a team who's never won anything, they're pretty expectant.
They are expecting, yeah. They, I think it's like, right there, we've got 3 clubs, haven't we? So we've got West Brom, Villa, Blues. If you put all of those fans into one stadium, we'd have just as many fans, and we'd probably expect the same thing as well.
And the thing is,
not the Blues ones, because we'd expect it.
Newcastle Stadium, like right in the heart of the city.
Yeah.
It's what everybody lives for up there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is,
You know.
Great
And
place.
they have had great players play for them in that 90s period. Les Ferdinand, Asprilla, Shearer, and the other guys that they had there. I remember John Beresford scoring about 3 in the first 4 games that one season. And everybody was saying he was the best left back in the world. You know,
they had Hislop, was he there in the 90s?
He was there. We had like Shay Given, he was in goal.
Shay Given,
Philippe Albert.
He's still going to this day, isn't he, somewhere?
Ginola.
Man, Albert, the 5th
I forgot about him. Yeah.
Keith Gillespie came good when he went to Newcastle. You know.
I mean, Albert, he was the 5th musketeer, wasn't
he? Hey.
And then, you know, you obviously Shearer, Owen. I don't think Newcastle fans like Owen at the moment.
Owen went for the cash, didn't he? That was the problem.
they never seem to kick on. They're one of those teams. They obviously went down. They came back up, gave it the big I am, and haven't done anything since.
Been hanging around the bottom half of the Premier League, haven't they? They're not going to. Mike Ashley is never going to invest a penny. No. Well, until Sports Direct start making 400 billion quid a year.
Wow. Until House of Fraser start turning a profit.
I mean,
know what's going on.
Looking at these 5, and even a couple of teams in the top 8, as a Villa fan, and yes, history. I do like history as a subject. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking back to the O'Neill days. How on earth are the likes of Brighton, Burnley, Sheffield United, Wolves, and Leicester finishing above us? When you look back at Baz, and you got Milner, Barry, Downing, Young, that quality team that we had when we got to the League Cup final, you look at this and you just think, what on earth? Burnley 9th?
I mean, it is, but that team came 6th in the Premier League. I think we had 3 seasons of coming 6th.
Yeah.
And so when O'Neill was in charge?
Yeah. And then the chairman decided he'd had enough. And so
top 4.
So that whole team kind of went. So it kind of a one-off season. You look at it in terms, I think we got Wolves coming 5th, I think.
And a lot of money. So that's different. I think that's a different case.
It's maintaining that. Like you've got to maintain that. You can have a go, and then you can't just stop.
If
you want to keep it consistently. And at that time, that's what Villa did. They was like, we had a go, we failed. Let's go and get relegated.
Bournemouth had a philosophy, didn't they? They're gonna. Well, it wasn't too long ago. They were in League One, but you'd never imagine they were in the Premier League.
No.
They had this philosophy. They got the kids together. They were a good manager.
The same,
Thing with Bournemouth, traditionally, most of the players used to buy for big money when they got promoted were rubbish. Like most of them. it was like those players they brought in League One who ended up being better. I mean, they've got slightly better now, to be fair.
I mean, I've got Everton in 10th place as well, and Everton are one of those teams who put their starting 11 onto a sheet of paper, you'd probably be thinking they're pushing top 8, top 6. I mean, you've got Coleman on the one side, Digne on the other, Yeremina, Keane. Okay, he hasn't been great this season, but he's not a bad defender at all. You've got the likes of Sigurdsson, Richarlison, Theo Walcott, thinking about how good he can be. They lack a striker.
Exactly.
They lack a striker.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, they're variable commodity, aren't they? In terms of somebody who can consistently put the ball in the back of the net, and that's what Everton haven't had for years.
You put Danny Ings up front for them on the form that he's on at the moment. They're higher up in the league. You give them a Marcus Rashford or somebody like that, they're higher up in the league than they are now. I don't think Ancelotti's going to do a great job there. I think it's going to take him time like Arteta, but it'll take him longer.
I thought that, but he's been doing a half-decent job at Napoli. They were they've been pushing for, they're nowhere near Juventus, but they've been pushing for up the top for a few years, haven't they?
I don't think that was mainly due to Ancelotti, though.
Don't you?
I think
it's due to investment, though.
I mean, they've had a bit of money.
That's my point. I don't think he would have gone to Everton if he hadn't been promised money.
I think he's been promised money, but I think it's almost in terms of Everton and Arsenal, they both appointed managers roughly at the same time. I think they've almost got them the wrong way round in terms of appointment.
I said this yesterday. It's
It's like I think the thing with Everton is they would have hired Arteta if they hadn't had Silva before. Because you always go for the opposite in terms of managerial appointments. Like Silva was the young up and comer. Yeah. They decided he didn't work, so you're not going to appoint somebody similar. And Everton didn't. And Arsenal, they appointed somebody with stature previously. Emery didn't work out. So they want to switch, to the young kind of up and coming coach. Whereas realistically speaking, you flip them. They're probably better fits for both.
Yeah, I think it's more suited for us.
They're better fits for both.
I think you look at that Everton team though. And from looking at how I've done my Premier League, every team below them, except for Man United, I wouldn't be surprised that if the Everton board went, would you like to be our manager, that managers wouldn't jump to a team like Everton with the players that they've got, the resources they've got available to them, moving to a new stadium in a couple of years' time. They attracted Yeremina and Andre Gomez from Barcelona to Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean,
I just wanted to be close to Jurgen Klopp. That was the only thing.
But no, they went first to Blackpool to go on a roller coaster. I can see why Everton went for Ancelotti because he's the most high-profile manager they've had in their history.
I think that's a great sign for Everton. I think it's a great sign.
So you're always going to go for it. It's like in terms of, I use this comparison on. I mean, I'm going to get a shameless plug in here, but I use this comparison on a sister podcast. I recorded Premier Mentor podcast on beermat.com. If Jennifer Lawrence...
I'm taking it out.
If Jennifer Lawrence came in here, and I'm going to ignore the fact that you're both happily married and I'm happily in a relationship, so we're ignoring that. But Jennifer Lawrence comes in and goes, I want to go out with you. I'm going to take you out. We're going to have a great time. You're going to go, yeah. Even though, if you thought about it logically, you're going to go, why am I going out with Jennifer Lawrence? This is not going to work out well. We are not compatible in a million years. But good as Jennifer Lawrence, you're going to have a go. And that's like Ancelotti at Everton. It's like, that does not fit in a million years.
I look at it a different way for those of us who are married.
Yep.
Not to each other. But if your team lose a manager and then like Blues lost their manager, which I don't think you'd be too upset about.
Or Smith
left the Villa and Pep Guardiola came along and said, yeah, I'll give it a go. You'd be like, yeah, right then, yeah, why don't you? Yeah, and that's what it's like with Ancelotti.
Yeah, for our younger listeners, if you want an explanation of what that means, go and ask your mother.
Okie dokie then. So those five that you put there, for me, I put them there. I put down here, are they there because of a lack of consistency? Everton, Man United, yes. Burnley, Brighton, Newcastle, no. Burnley are a mid-table Premier League team, unfortunately. Brighton are probably going to have a good season. Newcastle, I don't know how I fluked them there. But anyway, we'll move on to the next four, 14th to 17th. Bill?
14th to 17th. So 14th I got Newcastle. 15th I've got Brighton. 16th I've got West Ham. 17th I've got Crystal Palace. I can't. The bottom few I can't really predict. They're so inconsistent and they all beat each other. It's
See, for
I think West Ham have got a good team on paper, to be honest, but it's so inconsistent.
So Newcastle were just at the bottom of my last section. They're on 38, and the team who finished third bottom are on 33. So I've got 14th. I've got the Villa on 37. And that's because we signed Messi in the summer in January. I've got Palace on 37 because it doesn't do goal difference on the app. Southampton on 34 and Bournemouth on 33. Bournemouth are just stinking at the moment. I know they got the result against Chelsea, but it's not a great time to be a Bournemouth fan.
But they're just streaky, aren't they? They go on runs of winning games and runs of losing games. There's no real consistency, really. Yeah. I mean, in terms of my four, no particular order because where I had the order, I've lost. But I had Bournemouth, Brighton, Southampton, and Burnley. They were my kind of 13th to 17th kind of teams.
I carry all hope for Aston Villa Football Club now.
It is in your hands. And
I think at the moment.
I mean, we'll come on to Villa when we talk about, kind of bottom three.
Well, no, I'll come on to them now.
Let's do it. I mean, I think in terms of until the game before Christmas against Southampton, I didn't think we were in any chance of going down. And then I saw the way we played. It's like, yeah, we're in a whole heap of trouble. Because we've got a defence who can't stop conceding goals. We've got a striker who can't score. And then we've got our best two midfield players, one of who's injured himself trying to kick someone. And so we've got one player who's carrying the team.
Jack Grealish.
Yeah, and there's only so much he could do. I mean, he can score a goal, but if you already conceded 3 down the other end, that's what happened in the game before Christmas. It's not a fat lot you can do.
I think for me, looking at it, and the players are still getting used to the Premier League, a lot of them. Even Jack Grealish is, even though, he played in there before. We haven't really bought any seasoned Premier League players apart from Tom Heaton. So going back to Wesley, yes, he hasn't scored a lot of goals. He's got 4 or 5. I think it's 5 in all competitions, isn't he? Yeah. So did Christian Benteke at this point in his first season. He came on to become a Villa legend. He scored in his debut against Swansea. He then got a couple against Liverpool in November at Anfield. He scored 1 more goal, and he didn't really score. And then he started after Christmas.
Yeah.
Wesley does the same. We're okay. If Trezeguet and El Ghazi can find their feet, we're okay. But I do admit it's a lot of people that I'm hoping find their feet. And with McGinn now out for what, 3 months or so with a fractured ankle.
That's stupid. Just trying to kick someone. Yeah. I mean, I think I had my gap between 17th and 18th was 4 points, which isn't a million miles away. You know, a couple of results going either way. In terms of quality, I don't think Villa are a bottom 3 team, but it's just kind of putting it together on the field. And, you know, you're hoping second half of the season, again, used to each other. But my only main concern about Villa fan is we're coming up to this Christmas period and we seem to be getting worse.
Yesterday was one, but you've got a couple of games coming up that you should be looking to get points out of. No, if you can't get points out of the next couple, then you've got an hard run in towards the end of Jan, Feb.
We've got a hard run at the end of the season.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah, we've got some like April. We need to get our business done by April, really.
Before Pearson had become Watford manager, I was quite confident that we'd beat Watford, and I haven't put us to beat Watford on there now. I put us to beat Norwich and then lose to Watford, but I've got 4.
I don't think he's a great manager, but he organises the team.
Yeah, I've got 4 points between Villa in 14th and the team that go down and sit above them. I've got Palace in there. Palace are very up and down. You know, they've got Zaha, who's a lovely player. Milivojevic scores every penalty he gets, and they tend to get about 10 a season. But what else have they got?
Nothing really. I think they rely on Zaha quite a lot.
They do.
It's a good trick to rely on, though.
Well,
I mean, the thing with Palace is kind of this first half of the season, Zaha hasn't really done a lot. And they've got most of the points on the board.
Yeah.
It comes down, and I've got Southampton and Bournemouth, and again, it comes down to a lack of consistency. You'd expect Southampton to be higher up the league with the players they've got on paper. Same pretty much with Bournemouth because of how they've done in the Premier League the last couple of seasons. If you wrote down, if I wasn't a Villa fan, you wrote, well, even as a Villa fan, if you wrote down 1 to 11, the best 11, or the 11 for the first game of the season, I probably would have turned around to you and gone, who's that? It's about 3 or 4 of the players, honestly, because I didn't know who they were. You know, and you need that Premier League experience, and you need a plan B.
Yeah, I think that's kind of. I think the problem is with Villa, the plan A ain't working.
No,
currently, that's what happened to plan B.
Which is why he needs to switch it up a little bit.
That's what happened to the Blues when the times relegated 3 times, but every single time we had plan A, didn't work. 2 out of the 3 times were a big oof. The third one was just sit back and hit them on the break with Cameron Jerome of all people. That worked out well.
Well, he certainly hit them, just not.
Exactly. I mean, that's it. We had no plan B. We had no out.
I mean, me now talking about the Villa, I feel a bit optimistic. I know I've got my claret and blue rose tinted glasses on, but it feels like you're sort of at a funeral.
I think
talking about them and where they're gonna end. You're at a party.
Rest in peace, Aston Villa. 2020.
In terms of individual quality, 1 to 11, Villa shouldn't be bottom 3. In terms of individual on the paper, it's just.
I agree.
And I still, obviously, spoiler alert, have hope that we will turn it round.
Yeah.
But just in terms of, you do those numbers blind in terms of that app, and it's like the games we should be winning, we haven't been winning. And I mean, this obviously recorded.
You've got to beat the teams around you.
Yeah, this recorded after we played Southampton, and we were awful. We were beyond awful.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully, if we beat Norwich and Watford, then a bit of momentum keeps your head over water. It's going to be close. It's going to be tight. I mean, if you're going to say to me Villa will come 17th, 16th, I'm not going to be, absolutely shocked in absolute horror. If you say we're going down, I wouldn't be surprised either. I mean, it's going to be, we've got to be, I mean, haven't Villa got the record of we've lost the most points from winning positions? You can't be doing that. If you're at the bottom half of the table anyway. I mean, hopefully we'll get a couple of players in the January transfer window. Hopefully Darren Bent is still fit, so we kind of get
Darren Bent. Paul Benteke, anyone like the hat?
But as long as it's not Paul.
Chris Sutton scored 4 years ago, didn't he?
As long as it's not Paul Konchesky.
As the third richest club in that league, if you've got the money and you can afford it with FFP, as daft as it sounds, and he might not join, you go to Southampton, you say, there's 20 million, I'll have Danny Ings off you, please. Because I do believe this, and maybe again it's those glasses that I've got on, why wouldn't you want to come and play for a team like Aston Villa? History-wise, not nowadays, but they're not as big as us.
I'd go for
Go in history.
I have Giroud.
Which Giroud signed for?
On loan. I mean, he's not playing for Chelsea.
Batshuayi.
No, I suppose.
Either of
I
them.
suppose.
I mean,
he's got to be on big money at Chelsea.
I'm just saying, I think that...
Yeah, half a season, though. You just got to keep up, then you can go, see you later.
I think if we turn around to most teams, strikers, that weren't in that top 8, but maybe that top 10, and we said, you can play for Aston Villa and you'll be our main man, they'd join us.
Yeah.
Most of them.
You've got to remember, I can see where you're coming from, and issue-wise, you're a big club. You've got to remember, you've just gone up.
Yeah, it's the here and now. I get you.
Yeah, you can't. Some of these clubs have been in the Premier League for, I don't know, Southampton 5-6 years. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Probably more than that.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'd want all these strikers as well, though.
No, Danny, I'm just saying the likes of Danny Ings, who's gone to Liverpool.
I know what you mean.
He's been at Southampton for a long time, 2 occasions, but
local ladding.
Local lads, Why would he leave home to go to Aston Villa? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I know what you mean in terms of teams from similar or lower. To go to Villa is obviously a big job.
Yeah.
I mean, okay then. So bottom 3, and my bottom 3, 18th is 33 points, so they missed out on goal difference, and that's the goal difference now compared to Bournemouth. And then I've got 32 points for 19th. So all they needed was a win. Bottom of the league, 24 points. Bottom of the league, 24 points. Who have you gone for, you guys?
I've got Norwich bottom on 27.
Yeah.
I think they're done. I think all they had was Pookie at the start. Now Pookie's not really... Well, he scored yesterday, but... No, he's not really...
No, he's doing nothing.
He scored yesterday. Besides, he's not a prolific goal scorer.
Who else do they have?
Who else have they got? I don't think they've got anybody. Then I've got you, mainly personal opinion, but... I'm 0 points in 19th somehow.
Docked 80 points for financial fair play.
No, I've got you on 28. And this is... the next one, I've got Watford on 34. I've got Palace on 34. It's 17th.
Yeah.
I just don't think you've got... This is... Well, it probably is a personal thing, but I don't think you've got a goal scorer that can keep you up.
Not at the moment.
I think that's what's going to bury you in the end.
Not at the moment, though.
Yeah.
You can buy in January. If you buy in January, it's different.
Yeah, we get the MUFC in January.
Yeah, well, definitely.
Yeah.
But if you start, as you said, if you start losing to the teams around you, that is going to send you down.
We get Messi and we come 17th.
Yeah.
In terms
Ronaldo's coming in the week after.
Fat Ronaldo.
I'll tell you what, Fat Ronaldo would do a job in the Premier League.
So who's your bottom 3 then, guys?
I had Watford bottom, Norwich 19th, Villa 18th. In terms of the pure numbers, in terms of doing that. Stat. I mean, time recording, Watford just had a big win against Man United, but...
Anyone beats Man United now.
Exactly. It is kind of that, apart from us. It's like, I don't think Watford are very good. I don't think Pearson's a very good manager. I don't think there's enough buy-in in the squad to really battle when the chips are down. I don't think they're going to particularly have a productive January transfer window. I think they're done. I mean, they might have a couple of decent results, but I can't see them overturning 3 teams to fire up the league. Well, Norwich, they had a decent start, but as you mentioned, they got Pookie who scores goals. I don't really still think he's a Premier League striker. And I think
it's a good championship striker.
I think teams will find him out in the grand scheme of things. I don't think they're going to spend any money in January particularly.
I think teams have probably already found him out, haven't they? That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, my bottom 3, Norwich 24 points. Watford finish 18th with 33, so they just miss out to Bournemouth. I think the whole Pearson can-do attitude, come on lads, let's get down the mines and find whatever, type of thing. We'll do them okay to a certain extent, but they'll be up and down.
Yeah. Also, coal's quite valuable nowadays because no one minds it. So sell it to the Chinese. You're doing all right.
My 19th place, and anybody who's listening that supports this team will realise I haven't said them yet. 32 points, and I can't believe it. West Ham.
West Ham again.
I got West Ham. No, I don't. If you like we said before, if you've said to me, put down your 1 to 20, West Ham would not be anywhere near the bottom 4, bottom 5. I've got West Ham based on the games, based on who their players are, based on how they play, based on their manager. They've ended up there. I don't understand it.
That's the magic. Exactly, the magic of mathematics.
But like we say, there's always one team who will fall away. And they find themselves in trouble, and when they realise they're in trouble, it's a bit too late to get back to the shore and put your armbands on, because you're in deep water and you've got a couple of tiger sharks circling you.
I think the problem with West Ham is the owners, because it's exactly the same as when they're at the Blues. They come out and said, it's better for business if we get relegated and they get promoted because the fans keep wanting to come back and come back and come back, and they don't care. But they don't care.
So from your bottom threes, genuine question now. Most teams that go down tend to keep hold of their players unless they've got some real superstars in their team. Would your bottom three, would you expect them to come straight back up?
I'd expect Norwich to come back up.
In terms of my bottom three, Villa would probably be the best place to start the three.
I think they're going to League One instantly.
25 points relegation. Because I don't think Norwich or Watford are any good.
Really, I think Norwich have got a great Championship team.
Yeah,
they're just not good enough for the Premier League.
I suppose under the manager maybe had another go. I mean,
they were the best. They were one of the best teams I watched last year.
Yeah, I mean, they won the Championship, so they're very good.
Exactly.
I think Watford. They haven't got a Championship team. I suppose that's what you could say about Norwich. They've got a Championship team, which kind of helps in terms of that. But
I would say Watford and West Ham, yes, because I look at that. I
think a lot of West Ham players have won out.
But if only like the real key players, say Declan Rice left, he went to Man United for 5p, something like that.
I think West Ham
left.
West Ham because they've got enough. I think they've got enough players who would want to stay, and they've got enough kids in the academy who want to come through, and Slaven Bilic might come back.
I think Watford. I look at that Watford team, and I'll be completely honest with you. I would take Pereira and De La Feu and Decore like that for the Villa.
I take Decore 100%. In terms of
the others,
in a struggling team, I wouldn't have the other two. They're kind of like cherries on top of the cake. But Villa, we haven't got a cake. We need to make that cake first to begin with. Then we can add the cherries on the top.
I'd take all 11 of Watford players. Get rid of the Blues team. Just put the Watford team in the Championship. I'll do, man.
Just leave Djokovic on the bench.
Well, I'll tell you. Well, thank you both for that. I mean, let me leave you with this one question that I should have asked right at the very start, really, after we did our top two. And it's about Liverpool. Are Liverpool, two questions really, are Liverpool the best team in the world at the moment? And number two, will they be the best team in the world next season? So, are they the best team in the world at the moment? Forget the fact that they won the Club World Championship yesterday or whenever it was, but are they the best team? Are there any teams in other that's table, just so that you know, that would be beating them if they're in the same league as them, or would Liverpool go and win every single league that they were in?
I mean, we beat them in the League Cup, so that basically means we're the best team in the world.
You're going off wrestling logic here.
See, I think I'm there. Yes, they probably are. They are probably are the best team.
You don't see it, just they are. Yeah.
Juventus, I think
they'll beat Juventus over 2 legs.
Yeah, Champions League, Over a season, Juventus tend to run about Barcelona, and I think they're better than Barca. Barca haven't, their defence and their midfield isn't what it was.
Yeah, no. I think there's a situation.
And same Madrid.
Yeah, I think there's a situation whereby the top teams in Europe are kind of on a bit of a downward curve, like Barcelona aren't as good as they have been. Yeah. Madrid aren't, Bayern aren't. Juve are kind of there-ish, but kind of on Ronaldo's shoulders, as it were. Going to be pushed by Inter. So Liverpool are comfortably the best team, I'd say.
What about looking fast forward to the end of next season? Are Liverpool still the best team in Europe?
I think they are, yeah.
Depends what City do.
Looking at those teams will have.
I think Liverpool have got. Liverpool had a problem down the core of that team. They had the front line sorted. That was all done. They had a problem with the defence, and they had a problem with the goalie, and they bought the way out of that.
Yeah, there could be another team who does that. That's what.
I don't think Man City need to do. I think they've got a problem with their.
They need
they need centre back. The goalie's all right. I think they need a centre midfielder as well.
Centre back, centre midfield.
Yeah.
Beyond that, if you keep everyone else fit, they're going to run them close again.
How old's Aguero now?
30.
Is that it?
Around about early 30s.
Okay, all right. So it's all right, fair enough. He's got a few years left in him there.
For me, the answer is just no. Liverpool won't be the best team at the end of next season. And age, and you could say Aguero like you have done there, and Griezmann and Messi and Suarez are going to be old. I'm not saying that Barcelona are going to be better than them. But you've got, and don't forget QPR and Preston. You've got Salah, Mane, who are both pushing 30. You've got Van Dijk, the same. Alisson's 28, 29, coming up to that.
Yeah, goalies
Henderson.
Lasts longer, don't they?
they've got
Henderson.
one of their other best players is James Milner. He's going to be playing football when he's 60. He's going to be a PE teacher as well.
I think he's one of the most underrated footballers in the past 10 years.
But you look at
he just goes under the radar. He just does a solid job every week.
He was underrated, Villa.
I think from them alone, I think that they're getting on a little bit. I wouldn't half expect that with a proper manager in place, Bayern Munich will be strong again next year with the players that they've got at their disposal. Same for Paris Saint-Germain because of all the money they've got as well. Real Madrid won't have another season where they're coming second or third to Barcelona. Barcelona, if they can keep ticking over for one more year with the older generation that they've got now, which was fantastic in its prime, you've got all those teams that are going to be better than Liverpool, and Manchester City will win the league next season. I'll put it there now. Man City will win the league next season.
I think what we were saying earlier, if you attack Man City, they can't handle it. And I think the more people that have the guts to have a go at them, and I think the more people will get closer to beating them.
The thing with that though,
if they have the guts.
Well, when David Moyes is in charge of Man City next year and they win the league,
that 9 behind the ball are all going to charge forward in one go.
Saying that you've got a point there. Pep Guardiola came, they finished fourth. He knew what he needed to change. They won the league the next season. He'll change it about. He'll change the tactics. He'll change the personnel. They'll finish top comfortably. They'll finish top at least 6 points ahead of Liverpool. I think
he's gone this year. I'll be honest. I think his head's gone.
You reckon?
Yeah. How far are they? They'll be on 10 points, I think. I know there's a game in hand, but
something like that.
10 points. The thing is, if you think about it, that's only a couple of wins away or a couple of losses away from putting Liverpool under major pressure.
Yeah.
They've not been put under proper pressure for a long time.
I'd say I think they'll finish 3 points ahead of City this season.
Yeah. I still think it's over. I think they're going to finish with 8 points clear, 10 points.
Well,
I look forward to when Guardiola's next manager of Houston Dynamo.
Man, they'll be running the US.
They will, man.
No, well, thank you, as I say, thank you for that. Thank you for your opinions as well. Great podcast if I do say so myself. This time, having a chat through. Maybe next time we look at the Champions League or in the Europa League for this season. See who we think's gonna win it. We could have a look at the Championship, but I don't care about that anymore.
We will next year.
I'm in the Championship, and neither do I.
Thank you all. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a good Christmas. Nice one. Thank you very, very much.